Hello, we are Team A, and today we will talk about the motivation and cross-cultural team and how we linked it as a process. So first, I will talk about demotivation. There are various factors that demotivate an employee. However, for this case, we will only focus on the following aspects. Job satisfaction is one of the factors that demotivate an employee, and under job satisfaction, work job design is one of the ways that it discourages an employee to work properly. According to Canferson and Pritchard 2008, extrinsic factors such as salary, working condition, and supervision influence job displeasure. With low salary, poor working condition, high job demand, with too much monitoring and low support from the supervisor, would make an employee feel like they're drowning. Another factor to demotivate employees is through overload of work. Employees seek for a job that allows them to have a work-life balance. Hence, even organizations always requires an employee to work overtime, it discourages the employee to work and create results to burnout, as it gives a high pressure and stress due to extreme demand at work. Moreover, it could lead to low morale, low concentration, always tired, and take sick leave, cause tensions and conflicts in the department, manipulation and exploitation, which could possibly lead for an employee to quit. With unequal task allocation, such as too little or too much overload, could cause an employee to be less effective or have high stress that they can't cope with their responsibilities. It can also produce low motivation, where it can create a vicious circle in such which tense atmosphere creates more tension, more dissatisfaction, and more ill feeling. From Thompson 2013. Employee engagement also contributes to employees' demotivation. Employees see that they have limited autonomy. They will feel that the management has more control and will give more pressure for them to perform their job in certain manner. Likewise, supervisor giving adequate feedback and support to the employee leads to employee feel helpless, disconnected, disappointed, undervalued, and exploited, as if the supervisor are taking the employees for granted, hence a decline in employees' performance. Lastly, career development also affects employees' motivation, such as when an organization denies an employee to have learning and developing opportunities to progress in their career, will lead to the employee feeling not satisfied, frustrated, and eventually leave their organization. Besides, organizations without training and development in their work culture will tend to have employees that are likely to become complacent with their work and will just carry out their work out of habit and as a daily routine. Also, with insufficient guidance to support the employee makes them feel insecure about their job and the challenges that comes with their work, and with insufficient increase in salary, an employee may feel undervalued and less competent. Employees that are more enthusiastic about expanding their skills and maximizing their personal and professional development are those likely to leave work and their lack of opportunity to broaden skills and try out new situations. The second part of our presentation is about a cross-cultural team. In this part, I'm going to first talk about the issues and then focus on the importance of improving employees' cross-cultural communication competence. Multicultural project teams have become more common in recent years, and there's several benefits of cultural diversity in the team. For example, diversity cultural perspectives can inspire creativity and drive on innovation, but team diversity also can potentially lead to interpersonal conflict and reduction of the interaction and communication among team members. In addition, according to our reading, communication barriers resulting from differences in geography, language, and culture also have negative effect on the global team. Firstly, it is difficult for teams to arrange face-to-face meetings due to living in different countries separated by time zones and conflicting schedules. Although members can work together and exchange ideas through technology like email and video conferencing, however, mutual trust among team members is only likely to be built through face-to-face communication, because members can see other body language and directly explain their reaction. And language barriers present a challenge in catalytically sharing different points and achieving creative solutions. And the members of the cross-cultural team come from diverse culture and will bring different values, norms, assumptions, and patterns of behavior of the group. If differences in these factors cannot be addressed, the cohesiveness and effectiveness of the team will be influenced negatively. In order to minimize the influence caused by these three factors, the team should pay closer attention to two aspects. The first one is providing training to members to improve their cross-cultural communication competency, including interpersonal skills and cultural empathy. Interpersonal skills include the ability to understand other colleagues and get along with them. The ability to resolve conflict, reduce the misunderstanding among members, and cultural empathy competence will directly affect quality in the process of intercultural communication because members already have an appreciation for different culture and work style. They are more willing to learn and understand other culture and the communication pattern in these cultures. As a result, members will be connected closely and a stable social group will be formed. The second one is about leadership. The leader is to demonstrate an openness to the cultural differences and encourage other members to learn different cultures. And the leader is required to know how to manage and motivate employees from different culture and background. So we have Hakuhodo as an example. Hakuhodo is the second biggest professional advertising agency in Japan. They have a branch in Vietnam operated for more than 10 years. However, there are a lot of issues occurring in the company. The job model is created by the Japanese directors. They require a lot from the employees within a limited time. Sometimes the employees feel anxious and overwhelmed. They reported that they have to carry so many jobs and it's unequal comparing to the members among the team. The second issue is related to lack of communication. The Vietnamese employees said that it's hard to have any clear communication with their directors because they are way too busy to give feedback. They cannot complete a task without their supervisor guidance and decision making. They have to rely on their directors, even with the small things. From here, we can see the problem of trust between Vietnamese and Japanese. It's unwritten, but everyone in Hakuhodo knows that their directors never trust them. The differences in culture and perspective lead to difference in working style. The Japanese wants to control every single work, but the Vietnamese wants to have their own freedom in their job. The last big issue has come to HR team is that the employees feel they don't belong to the company. They said they don't have authority for what they are doing. They are working in a creative industry, but they are not encouraged to be creative. They just have to follow their supervisor's direction, and when the employees give ideas, the ideas are not appreciated. So many people resign due to these reasons. From these actual problems, we have a process to engage employees in the cross-cultural company like Hakuhodo.
Now, let's talk about the process to retain staff in a cross-cultural team. To retain staff in a cross-cultural team needs to pass a positive organization culture to the employees, and it requires 3 different improvements in an organization, respectively are involvement, rewards, and adaptability. To improve employee involvement, there are 3 parts that managers and organizations should pay attention to: the empowerment, the team orientation, and capability development. It is believed that empowerment can lead to lower labor turnover and costs, and it can motivate and respond staff, increase service quality, and increase productivity. It can also develop employee attitudes and behavior, and to increase empowerment and make employees feel empowered in both organizational and psychological way, managers and organizations should build trust among employees and managers. The best way to gain employee loyalty is by showing your staff that they have your trust. Clarify the ends instead of the means and let your staff go about projects in their own way. They might not accomplish everything exactly as you would have, but they will get the job done with their own flair. And also, to communicate a clear vision is also important to increase empowerment. As a boss and a leader, it's your job to get everyone on the same page. People that do not know what they are supposed to be doing won't be able to accomplish their jobs very well at all. Clearly define the roles of your staff so they know their duties and don't do the wrong things. Build trust and communicate a clear vision is the most important approaches to increase employee empowerment. However, other approaches, for example, encourage self-improvement, learn flexibility, inspire creative thinking, can also increase employees' involvement in an organization. Except for empowerment, a better team orientation and capability can also increase employees' involvement in an organization. It helps to increase talent retention, especially with employees from diverse cultural backgrounds. To achieve a better team orientation, the first thing to do is to give a strategic overview to the employees. To give a strategic overview, you can explain your team, department, and corporate objectives and link those to the individual's job. Explain to the new hire your view of how they fit into the bigger picture. Share organization charts, strategic plan documents, pending project lists, and so on. The second thing to do is to provide a job description. All employees deserve explanation of what is expected from them. A job description which explains duties and responsibilities often is not enough. And the third thing to do is to suggest performance goals. Suggest some additional areas of focus, ideally in the context of performance goals for the employees to address, especially during the first year of employment. Make it clear that you will discuss these with the employee soon. These three approaches can help to increase team orientation at the beginning of an employee's job. And during the work, other two approaches should not be ignored, which is one-on-one meetings and cultural education. Except for empowerment and team orientation, capability development is also important to help to retain staff in a cross-cultural team. Capability development is all about how to improve individual performance in an organization. It can be simply achieved by managers acting as a role model, reinforce the value of learning, build sustainable process to support development, reinforce shared values, and so on. The second kind of approaches to pass positive organization culture is to motivate employees from internal and external in an organizational way, which is the reward system. The reward system are separated into two parts: financial incentives and non-financial incentives. Financial incentives, including annual bounds, quarterly bounds, and so on, can motivate employees by directly giving them financial rewards. The non-financial incentives are more complex, including recognition, offering leadership opportunities, and allow high performers a more flexible schedule. For recognition, it is an important non-financial reward that is particularly valued by some employees. Having efforts noticed and publicly acknowledged can be a great motivator and encourage employees to stay with an employer. For offering leadership opportunities, good employees and managers understand their roles and strive to produce accordingly. Yet, great employees and managers often want the chance to go above and beyond. Have a big project coming up, let an employee take a leadership role. Not only does it show their ability to tackle a new project, but it also shows that you value their leadership and effort. For allowing high performances a more flexible schedule, it is in recognition the high performance's hard work. You might consider giving them the opportunity to work from home a few hours per week or to leave a bit earlier on Friday. Modern employees want to work from home more often because they treasure a work and life balance. Plus, there are many times when the work is completed and employees feel like they are wasting time just waiting for the day to pass. Of course, the flexible work schedule can be rescinded if the quality of the work declines. On the other hand, if expectations continue to be met, then there are no reason not to let them have a more flexible schedule. In conclusion, employees can be highly retained and motivated if the reward system are settled well. The third kind of approaches is adaptability. To achieve adaptability, organization and managers need to create change and increase organizational learning. It is because nowadays everything is changing fast. The mobility for employees had increased as well. Employers and organizations need to facilitate employee learning, align employee goals, and keep communication open. Only by giving an opening environment to the employees and united all employees together by a series of organizational learning, organizations can achieve a better adaptability and contribute to the staff retainment in a cross-cultural team. In conclusion, organizations with cross-culture teams should adapt to the employees' culture, values, and beliefs, so as to avoid the employees feeling undervalued and excluded in the organization or team. It is important for the organization to have a constant open communication with the employees, facilitation of learning and development, as well as recognizing each and every employee's hard work.